Tony Gaskins here. Just wanted to pop in for a little bit because I've been away. I've been just every day been busy. It's just days been running together, and right now I've been focusing on my health a little more. Not that I have bad health, but I done set me some new goals with my body. You know, I'm 38 and I want to see all my abs again. And so I'm just challenging myself, to lose some weight. I don't look bad, I don't feel bad, but I want to be better. And that's just something that I'm on, like not being comfortable being good. I want to be great. Not being comfortable being mediocre. I want to be exceptional. So y'all got to forgive me. So what's been happening is I get up and then I go do my workout. And then after doing my workout, I have something to do. I have to go to lunch with my wife or go run some errands or got this call, got that call. And then by the time I finish that, got to take my kids to practice. And then by the time I finish that, it's too late. So tonight I was gonna go live at 7:30. Tell y'all what happened. So here I am, I leave the house. I'm in the Sprinter. I'm driving my son. So I'm driving the Sprinter because when I get him to practice at 7:30, I was gonna go live. Then I remember I had a coaching session with my client on my year coaching program at 7:30. But after I done drove an hour, going to practice, it take an hour and 20 minutes to get there. After I done drove an hour, I'm on the final bridge. My wife texts me, practice got canceled. I say, these people done had me drive an hour and then cancel practice. So I got to get off, go all the way down the bridge, get down there, turn around, drive back an hour. So I'm driving 2 hours. I don't get scheduled to be home till 8 o'clock. My coaching session at 7:30. So I hadn't canceled the live, deleted what I said I was gonna go live at 7:30 because I got a coaching session. But now I don't get home till 8, so I had to push my coaching session back to 8 o'clock. No, 8:15. So now I coach from 8:15 to 9:15. And yeah, I need to be reimbursed. I'm like, they need to give me a gas card. Like, don't have me driving out here for this practice, then y'all want to cancel it after I've been driving an hour. Like, come on now. Y'all need to check the weather. The weather gonna tell you what the weather gonna be. But they cancel, I guess, for lightning or something. But I'm like, come on now. The weather already told y'all that. But that's the thing of being a parent. Y'all know, to the parents, y'all know how it is. Sometimes we go out our way and we sacrifice for our kids. A lot of times they don't really realize it till they 30 years old. They ain't gonna realize it till they're 30 like us. We start to appreciate stuff later in life. So yeah, and it wasn't no hour, it ended up being 2 hours. So I said I want to pop in on here. Now I did a video earlier today, and I'm gonna get back to the talks with Tony, but I just haven't been able to sit down lately. And it hasn't been about being drained or anything like that. Days just been running together. I'm missing so many emails, so many people waiting on me to get back to them on email. And just my days been running together. It's crazy to think about. I'm like, man, people work 8 hours. I'm like, I work for myself and still can't get through these emails. So y'all forgive me. And I'm gonna try to do a little better. And I'm gonna try to crank these videos up. Every time I say that, I end up not doing it, but it got to be said in order to be done. So y'all be marking your calendars. My goal is to have a noon video, noon Eastern, that's 9 a.m. California, and have a 9 p.m. Eastern on most days. That's my goal. So y'all keep an eye out. You might have to, put your notification on there. And so yeah, yesterday, oh please hush. Earlier today I did a video about the situation with the OnlyFans model. And I need, listen, I have never put that website on my computer or on my phone. That's a interesting little fact for y'all that a lot of people don't think like that or realize that. But I've never typed in the PORN hub or OnlyFans on my computer. And the reason why I've never typed it in is because I'm thinking about cookies or tracking, or like them putting ads and stuff on my stuff from going to the site. So I've never went. And then I also don't want to go and see something that make me want to keep coming back to it. But I was kind of curious to go see the young lady to see what type of content she doing on there. If she like showing outfits or if she doing a little more. But this is becoming and y'all gonna see this happen more often. This is going to be somewhat of a crisis in our community because we're in such a nasty society. So we're in a society where so much promiscuity is being promoted. So we got a lot of people promoting, the toys, a lot of people promoting the 3, the 4, the swinging. It's a lot of stuff getting promoted. The, woman on woman, but not in a relationship, just for fun, just for the bed. So it's all this stuff getting promoted. And then it's a lot of men who got girlfriends who also dealing with them some men. It's a lot of that stuff going on. And what's happening is, the reason why that's happening is because lust cannot be quenched. See, when you feed lust, lust gets stronger. So when somebody is promiscuous, it's only a matter of time before that promiscuity lead them to want to do more. And so when a woman done slept with 50 men, she then gonna want to be with a woman. When a man done slept with 50 women, he then might want to be with him a man. And now men are our numbers higher. So for a man, it might be 500 women. But that's that promiscuity. It's the feeding of lust to where the normal get boring. And then you want to do more because it's boring. The regular is boring. And we got to get comfortable being boring. We got to get comfortable being, whatever it is. Because the rest of it will kill you. And see, this is what people don't understand. What we're going through right now in this spiritual warfare it's a attack on marriage right now. It's an attack on marriage. It's an attack on relationships spiritually, because that is the foundation of the family. And that's why all of us going through in our love life, whether you single or whether you in a relationship, everybody going through something spiritually in their love life, because that's to break down the family unit. And so we have to be mindful of that. And we got to do what we got to do. And it comes a period of time where you got to suffer the wrong. So we have to get to the place to where it may not be serving us. It may not be beneficial to us. It may not feel good to us, but we got to stay in the fight if we know we in a good fight. If you know you fighting a good fight, you got to keep fighting, because the attack is meant to make you give up the fight. It's meant to make you throw in the towel. That's the reason of spiritual warfare. And this attack on the family, the attack on the relationship, is to break us down. So what's happening, and it's happening on all kind of ways, because if you see where, singles are starting to say, I don't need love, I don't need a relationship, that's still breaking down the family unit. And then if you see where men are saying, men and women saying this, then when they come together, they feel disposable, expendable, and they feel like the person they're with is expendable. And so they quit at the sign of any friction. They quit and they give it up. And the same with a marriage now. And so now there's this movement, and I want y'all to know about this movement, because I'm seeing it because I'm a man. So I'm seeing it this way. Now for the women, y'all gonna see the other side of it. I'm not a woman, so I can't look through the eyes of a woman, but through the lens of a man, what I'm seeing that's very dangerous that's happening is there's this movement of women, it's like fake empowerment. It's not real empowerment. It's see, you got to understand the way the adversary do. The adversary gonna package something that could blow up in your face in a Tiffany's box with a bow on it. The adversary ain't gonna put it in no C4 case, no red wooden case, what you know what's in there. The adversary gonna wrap it up. So what, like for instance, I seen a TikTok, and I'm gonna tell you just the fun side of it. So inspired. God bless you. I'm 32, single, no kids, never been married. Good job. I'm attractive. Sister, that's questionable. You ain't got no picture up there. Okay. 5'4" and 135 pounds. Does a woman have to make 6 figures to get a high value man? Not at all. Not at all. But see, we gotta start calling ourselves attractive now. Cause beauty in the eye of the beholder. So you might be attracted to you. I can think I'm attractive all day long. But if a woman don't think I'm attractive, then I'm just attracted by myself. You see what I mean? So I want y'all to take that out your vocabulary about how you think you look and just focus on what type of person you becoming, how good of a person you are. Like just focus on that, because we can't control what people think of our face. Because, and the reason why I'm telling y'all that is because I coach so many people who say, I'm a great catch. And I'd be like, well, I'd throw you back. If I hooked you, I'd be taking you right off that hook. Tossing you right back out there. You know, good cat. I'm like, to who? Listen, calm down now. Keep working on yourself. Keep working on yourself. And so we just got to be more humble. Now listen to me. I've seen this TikTok. Now when y'all see me flowing like this in the spirit, y'all hold y'all questions. Because that be the adversary trying to throw me off. I seen this TikTok. The lady, she got a desk on her shoulders. Now that I'm telling you this, you're gonna see it. She got a desk on her shoulders, and on top of her head, it's like she up under the desk carrying it. Now it looked like IKEA, cause you know IKEA stuff so raggedy, it probably weighed 5 pounds. But she moving the desk on top of her head, on top of her shoulders, and the caption say, 61 seconds after my husband told me he will help me move the desk in a minute. That right there is dangerous. Because what they trying to show, and it's this huge movement to women of, you don't need a man, you don't need a man, you don't need a man. Like, make your own money so that you don't need a man. Have your own job so that you don't need a man. Instead of it being, have your own job, make your own money so that you are empowered as yourself, so that you can shop when you want to shop, so that you can pay whatever bills or whatever expenses you need to pay for you or your family. Instead of that, it's like, have this so that you don't need a man. When you don't need a man for money, you need a man for love. You need a man for companionship. That's all you need a man for. But what the movement is, and the movement is started by bitter women. It started by women who upset with their marriage, who upset with their breakup, who upset with whatever, and they like forget men. So they start these trends of fake women's empowerment. And then on the flip side, the men gonna do the same thing, because now it's gonna become retaliation. So now it's gonna be, the men gonna say, well, we don't need no woman. The men gonna say, what do I need a woman for? Because the man gonna say, well, I can hire somebody to cook, I can hire somebody to sleep with, I can hire somebody to clean, I can hire somebody for this. And the men gonna devalue the woman, and then the woman gonna devalue the man, and then guess what? The household is broken down. The family unit is broken down. And that's right, that's a trick of the enemy. It's a trick from the adversary to break us down. And so I want you to start paying attention to this and be careful what you're saying to yourself. Be careful what you're saying to yourself. Be careful who you're listening to. CO, God bless you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, everybody. That's why I say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Everybody beautiful to somebody. 3 years together and just caught message to escorts random women. I think his cheating is a habit. Thoughts? You right. You right. If that's how you feel, that's what it is because that's common. That is happening. And so what I want to mention too, I'm glad you said that, is we going into now just how I told you about the women going into this don't need a man thing and this, do what you want to do thing. And I'm seeing it like I'm seeing a movement amongst wives, wanting to have a endless, bottomless bucket. Women talking about a soft life. Listen, there's no such thing as a soft life in the literal sense of it. Because any life that's soft on you mean it's hard on somebody else. So if my wife's life is soft, that means my life hard. Meaning if I got to go out and work and bust my butt to have my wife a glamorous life that look like a soft life, that means I got a hard life. And if a woman says she got a soft life, that means that's for Instagram. That means that's for Instagram because life ain't soft. Ain't nothing about life soft. So that's for online. And that's why people depressed. That's why people going crazy because we comparing ourselves to everything online. We comparing ourselves to everything online. So listen, I looked up the soft life because I heard about it and I'm seeing all this glamorosity, all this glamorosity. That costs money. That costs money. And that money is not soft. That money is hard to earn. So if you so caught up on a soft life, you either finna scam for it or you finna slam for it, sham for it, or beg for it, but something finna be hard in order to create that soft. Something finna be hard. Now, I saw one lady say she got a soft life and she went to Target. So, to each their own. I said, well, I don't know how soft that life is because she went to Target and made a coffee at home. I'm like, well that wasn't too glamorous there. Now that... Ooh, okay. That's a soft life. Okay. But then I seen some other women talking about soft life and they went to Lululemon or Aritzia and this and that, and it was expensive stuff. So I said, okay, well, okay, that's soft life, but who hard money is that? Is that your daddy hard money? Is that your husband hard money? Or is that your hard-earned money? Because money is hard-earned. And you could get to a point where it's easy, but so now I could work 7 to 14 hours a week, but to get to where I'm at now, I had to work 70 to 80 hours a week. So now my family, they tease me, oh, daddy doesn't do anything but shoot a video and talk to people on the phone. It look easy, but they don't realize the countless hours that I was up grinding when my house is asleep. So it's soft now. It's soft now. But I had to work hard to get to that place. And so we have to be very careful about the misleading trends online because when you go into work and you hate your job and you turn on the computer and all you seeing is soft life, soft life, soft life, and you sitting there working your finger to the bone, that'll send you into depression. If you believe what you see. If you believe in what you seeing, ain't nothing soft. Ain't nothing soft. If it's soft, that means somebody had to hard earn it. And if you believe in that, guess what? You're going to struggle. You're going to hate your life because you're going to be like, oh man, I don't get to just wake up and just go shopping and just have coffee and just have avocado toast. And so my life is horrible. I hate my life. because these women, they're just waking up and they're going to Lululemon and they having avocado toast and they having caramel frappuccino, and you getting up and going and punching a clock. You're going to be depressed if you believe what that woman's showing you. But that woman's showing you that because it's going viral and because she getting a check. So now, yeah, she can have a soft life because she could post a soft lie, and that soft lie gonna create a soft life. You see what I'm saying? Or that hard lie, I should say. Honestly, Tony, this is why I had to stop listening to certain channels on YouTube, because I don't want to get to a mental place to where I dislike and devalue men. Hey, God bless you. God bless you. That's all it is. That's what's happening. Listen to me. I'm going to tell y'all something. Listen to me. And this is what people always talking about. People talking about, Tony pandering to women. Tony, listen, I call everything right down the middle. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I've been talking to husbands. I just was talking to a husband. And what I'm hearing is so many husbands who are faithful, who are being vulnerable, who are being present. So many husbands are saying that they need more affection and they need more words of affirmation. Because I'm telling y'all, it is so hard being a good man in today's world. Because the good man does not get any praise. The good man does not get any respect. Because a good man gets ran over. A good man gets manipulated, used, and abused. A good man gets taken for advantage. And every good woman who is single says they want a good man until she gets a good man. And then when she gets a good man, human nature kicks in. And she takes the good man for granted. And what I mean by that is a man who come home every night, a man who is faithful, a man who is loving, a man who is consistent, the woman starts to get complacent because that's human nature. And women will stop cooking or stop sleeping with the man, stop doing whatever, and start seeking a thrill. Start just focusing on social media and everything that social media shows until everything about to fall apart. And then when the man about to be done, the man about to leave, then the woman will come and try to get it together. But we don't talk about that side of it. We just talk about the good woman who being taken advantage of, who being mistreated. But the thing about it is, because there are voices of men who we are struggling in our manhood, we struggling ourselves to grow and to heal and to develop. But because we share our wins and losses, we share our wins and lessons. We don't lose now. We share our wins and lessons. Because men are doing that, it is building more good men. More men are coming around to it. And they coming to the point to say, let me be a better man. So men are trying to grow. But then when men try to grow, it typically what happens is when somebody growing, somebody's slacking. When somebody is being exceptional, somebody's being mediocre. Because it's very rare do you have two people that's exceptional. And temptation is gonna come to that man. The grass gonna look greener on the other side, and vice versa. And we typically try to get it right when the person about gone. And that's where we struggling and we failing. But this what I'm seeing today. You know, this really happening. It's happening both ways, because you got to realize the adversary ain't going to do the same thing forever. So when the adversary has been attacking the man for so long and getting the man to take a stupid pill and to do crazy stuff, after a while, the adversary is going to shift and start attacking the woman and start getting the woman to be greedy, money hungry, complacent, manipulative, whatever. And I tell men about this. And when I do coaching, I tell the offender, listen, you got to apologize. You got to admit your faults. You got to make changes, and you got to be consistent. But I tell the person who was hurt, we won't call him or her a victim. I tell them, you got to make a choice if you're going to heal. And if you can't heal, if you're going to be a constant victim, then you need to let the relationship go. If you can't put the past in the past and give space and room to grow without keep reminding a person of who they were yesterday, and yesterday means literally yesterday or last month or 3 months ago or 6 months ago, then you're hurting your relationship. Because if you keep throwing up the past in somebody's face, you could never grow. And that's what we're struggling with in our relationships today. So what happens is, it's kind of like if a player in a sport is sitting on the bench and then they go to practice and they get hurt, they'll end up milking that injury so that they don't have to practice anymore. And they'll do that because they're not getting the reward of game time. The same thing happens in a relationship. When somebody get hurt and then they start to see their partner start to working and doing better, the person who was hurt will stay injured because they like the attention that they're getting, and they will milk that injury. And that's where it gets unfair. And then the person who's working and doing everything, trying to do better, trying to do right, that person will start to give up because they're like, listen, I'm doing everything right, but you're not reciprocating. You're not loving me. You're not giving me a chance. And that's where the relationship breaks down. And then when the person is done and they say, listen, I tried to make up, I tried to do right. You want to stay stuck in the past. I can't live a prisoner to the past. I'm letting go. And then the person wanted, no, don't go. And it's because they was milking it instead of saying, okay, you're going to try, I'm going to try. We're going to leave the past behind us and we're going to move forward together. And we're going to be stronger together, and we're going to be consistent. We're going to be loyal. We're going to be faithful. We're going to keep our business in house. We're going to live right and do the right thing. And that's what we need in our relationships today, but that's not what we have. We typically have a mature person and an immature person. We got a scorned person who don't want to heal and grow, and we got somebody who trying to heal and grow. And see, the thing is a lot of times, and I heard somebody say this, but it probably been said by a million people. Is a lot of times in a relationship is we get addicted to the toxicity of a person, to where when they're not being toxic, we don't have control and we don't have a narrative. Because when somebody is toxic, they controllable. You know you got them because you got your hooks in them and you driving them crazy and you making them crazy, and that's why they toxic. Because the relationship is just off. And it's not that you doing it, but when they start to change and grow, it's like you lose that. And sometimes people don't want to see real growth and change. People don't want to see someone who was codependent become interdependent, because that codependency gives a sense of security. Like, oh, this person is codependent, they're never going anywhere. But when somebody becomes independent or interdependent, it's like, oh, this person could go out and see somebody and see something that is better. And I could lose this person because now they're no longer blinded. They're no longer codependent. They're no longer putting me on a pedestal. They no longer drink my dirty bathwater out of a straw. They no longer think I can do no wrong. Now they see me for who I am, a manipulator, a liar, a deceiver. And so this is what happens in our relationships, and this is what we got to be mindful of. We got to be mindful of this so that we can understand what's going on in the spiritual realm and why the house is being broken down. And let me say what I was going to say. What we have today, we got a lot of dirty dang-a-lang men. We got a lot of dirty dang-a-lang men. And so what we have is we got a lot of men who are what I call porn babies. And what I mean by that is when porn got online, it became easily accessible. So when it became easily accessible, when the nasty movies got on the .com now, and then it got to an app, it became so nasty. It became so accessible that it became addicting. So what happened is men go into this fantasy world. Men go into this on-demand world that they could turn on their computer screen or their phone screen and they could see two humans doing a private act publicly. And that develops a spirit of barbarianism. That develops a spirit of voyeurism. That develops a spirit of Jezebel, of promiscuity. So it develops that spirit. And by doing that, this man does not realize the real from the fake. And some women struggle with this too. So understand, some things could just be inverted. But some women struggle with this too. So now this man does not realize that this is abnormal. That it is not normal as a human to watch other humans do a private act publicly. That's not normal. But in our society, that has been normalized. So when you have something that is abnormal become normal, now the normal becomes abnormal. Listen to what I'm telling you. So when, thank you, Aisha. It let me talk now. Y'all see I'm talking now. Y'all keep worrying about a question now. Y'all see the spirit flowing. Come on now. So now listen. When the abnormal becomes normal, then the normal becomes abnormal. So when a man can go, or when a man or a woman can go and turn on a nasty movie, and they can watch other humans, these are not robots, these are not actors, these are real humans, do a private act publicly for their consumption. Now, a man or a woman getting in a relationship and being with one person and being faithful and monogamous to this one person, which is normal, now that is seen as abnormal. And that's because we have become porn babies. And so now we cannot develop a relationship and a happy and healthy marriage because we are addicted to the abnormal. And that's why I don't dabble in it, because I know it's addicting. I know it's all consuming. I know it will destroy your mind and it will then destroy your life. Because guess what? When you go to the abnormal, you're going to see things that are abnormal. I heard a woman say, she on a podcast, she was like, and these men with this 6-inch thing think they're all that, think they're doing something. And they don't realize that it gets way better than that. That there are things that are way bigger. There are things that are 10 inches and 12 inches. And it's like, and she said, have you seen the pornos? Have you seen those things? And it's like, ma'am, a porno is abnormal. So a man with an abnormal body part is going to do something that is abnormal, like doing a private act publicly for other people to consume. So because he was born with a deformity, a 12-inch thing is a deformity. That's a deformity. Because if you ask a woman who has not been absolutely slaughtered, she will tell you that ain't even comfortable. That's not even comfortable. And a man, we know, because your average woman don't need all of that. No 12 inches. So here you have abnormal people spreading abnormal lies, saying that, oh, it's way better. And it's like, yeah, man, because you done been with 500 men. So now, when them walls is loose like that, yeah, you might want you a 12-incher. But the average woman don't want no 12. Where is that even going? I seen a woman online say the woman, the internal actually is 3 inches long. She say, so all this here extra, that ain't even scientifically needed. But when you done been out there and you done been you done been doing a lot, then yeah, your tolerance increases. Just like you went from 1 pill to 2 pills, went from 1 coffee to 4 coffees, went from 1 blunt to 5 blunts. So now you done went from 5, 6 inches to 9, 10 inches because of how much exercise you done had down there. You see what I'm saying? So, but we now are trying to normalize the abnormal. And that thing had me flabbergasted. So I went on Google. What is the average size, thing? Because I'm going to be honest with you. As a man, sometimes the thing uncomfortable. Sometimes it's showing through your clothes. You can't get it to sit right. And I'm like, okay, I can't get this thing to sit right. What in the world I'm going to do with 12 inches? I'm going to have to tuck that thing up and line it up through my cheek. I'm like, that don't even make no sense. That thing got to lay down my shorts. That thing hanging out the shorts. The shorts only got a 6-inch seam. The shorts got a 6-inch seam, ma'am. So what you think a man finna do with a 12-inch thing? That man can't even do nothing. Because it's like you could sit down on the toilet and thing touch the water. If your thing 12 inches, it's getting flushed down the toilet. It's like, come on now. What is we promoting? What are we promoting? We're promoting barbarianism and trying to pass it off as normal. This is ridiculous. It's getting out of hand. It is getting out of hand. But see, this is the world we living in, where we take the sacrilegious, we take the demonic, we take the promiscuity, and we try to normalize it. And that's what's breaking down the household. That's what's breaking down the family. And we got to be able to recognize this. We got to be able to recognize when we are acting abnormal. We got to be able to realize, you know what? This is not, this don't even make no sense. I'm sitting up here, got this thing, I done got this 12-inch toy. Y'all done went and got a 12-inch toy, and you throwing your kitten out of place because somebody online said that's normal. You done ruptured your kidney. You done messed up your spleen. Somebody talking about you got to explore your body and you got to learn your body. Next thing you know, when you get married, you can't even be pleased with a human being because you done did so much exploring. Ain't nobody ever gonna be able to discover your body and figure your body out like you. But that's what they done told you to do. Touch yourself, touch yourself, touch yourself, touch yourself. That's not normal either. That's not normal either. Think about that now. Think about that. Them areas is for reproduction. So when we just focus on pleasure and we focus on us doing what we need to do to us, now we can't even appreciate the exploration and the intimacy with another human being because of what we done did. You see what I'm saying? And so this is what we got to understand. And see this, listen, the reason why the Lord called me Jazz, did you join as a member? Welcome to the Blessed Tribe. Antoinette, welcome to the Blessed Tribe. The reason why the Lord done called me here to be a YouTube preacher is because we can't talk about this in church. We can't talk about this in the church. The pastor can't be up there on the pulpit talking about dildos and all this here, OnlyFans. The pastor ain't gonna be up there talking about that. He ain't gonna be able to talk about that because he got kids in the audience too. The church, it might not have a children's church. So now you got this, 12 years on, they learn about dildos. So we have to be on here to talk about the real because the body is suffering and dealing with this stuff too. So you got to understand this now. So listen to me. Today we got men and it's women too now, but what I'm seeing is mostly men, is going into a state of perversion. And so now men are trying to marry a porn star, or trying to marry a stripper, or trying to marry an OnlyFans model, trying to marry somebody off a back page, and then expect her to be a lady in the streets. And it's like, that's not where you found her from. If you can't, if you pluck her off a pole and she used to getting thousands of dollars, and then you come and trying to put on minimum wage, she might not be ready for that. She might not be ready for that transition. She might need a slow, gradual transition. If she been out there in the industry and she been dealing with 5 men a day, she might not be ready for one man. So we got men and then getting butt hurt. Oh, she cheated on me. Well, you plucked her off a pole. Oh, she bite stabbed me. Oh, she stole money from it. Yeah, you went and found a savage. You went and tried to tame a savage because of what you've been watching on that website. Because you said to yourself, if I get me an everyday woman, she's not going to be willing to be flipped and tossed and choked out like this woman over here. So you're so focused on what you could do to this woman over here that you don't realize that sometimes all that don't go together. And see, this is the thing, is you can't have it all. You can't have it all. See, sometimes when somebody go to compromising, when somebody go to doing all that extra, that means they're more willing to take risk in other areas. And that's what you got to be careful of, because you might be asking for somebody who will do this over here that is super adventurous, but then you want them to be conservative with money, and it don't go together. If somebody is super adventurous in that bedroom, they might be adventurous in other areas. It could be their fashion choices. It could be their money. It could be, somewhere else. And then we get shocked when we say, oh, the person had no class or no self management, no self-control in this area. But then we shocked when they don't have self-control in this other area. And it's like, you got to look at the character. You got to look at who you chose. And so what we have to realize is that love is not a fantasy. Love is not a fantasy. And relationship is not a fantasy. It is reality. And we got to be okay with the reality of human beings. And we got to understand that nothing is going to be on demand. Nothing is going to be eternally pleasing. Nothing is going to be constantly pleasing. It's going to be work. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be sacrifices that have to be made in order for it to work. And that's what we got to realize. Now I'm going to answer a few questions on here now. So if you posted your question, I missed it, copy and paste it, put the hashtag Q. And then y'all see the man got the model and lost his life. That's what the book of Proverbs talk about. He went after lust. He went after fantasy. And then it ended up costing his life. Because the boring woman was too boring. The woman who's not risque is too boring. But then the adventurous woman, she'll stab you. And I hate to have to touch on this, I hate to have to touch on this, but this very real life. It's real life. And the reason why I got to touch on it right here and now, because another man could be making that very mistake right now. Your brother, your uncle, your daddy, your cousin could be making that very mistake right now. Chasing adventure, chasing a thrill, chasing pleasure. I believe it was Zig Ziglar that says pleasure does not lead to happiness. Pleasure leads to pain. So when you chasing something, you got to realize as men, if a woman is willing to show her naked body to strangers, when we call this private areas, it's something going on. When you could take the private and make it public, it's something going on. So if something is going on, that's going to affect her in other areas in her life. It's not going to be, oh, she just sleep with men for money, but everything else is perfect. No, it's going to be brokenness in other places. It's going to be trauma in other places. That's going to trickle into other places. So you can't pick and choose your struggle. You can't pick and choose and say, oh, well, I'm going to pick this woman who sell her body, but I'm going to hope and pray that she faithful, loving, trustworthy, honest, and all of that. She might be 1 out of 1,000,000, but 9 out of 10, it's going to be a flaw somewhere else. So you got to understand. You got to understand that. Let me see. Now, y'all, I just ended a toxic relationship. Once I walked away, my ex said to me that I had plans to marry you. How should I respond to his nonsense? Just don't respond. Just keep it moving. That's just a little hook to bring you back. A little hook to bring you back. Thank you, Tony. Thanks for allowing the Holy Spirit to speak through you to the world, blessing you and your family. Hey, God bless you, Letitia. And y'all got to realize, this stuff, what I be talking about, this hard. Because I got clients that's strippers. I got clients that's in the porn industry. I got people on here that watch my YouTube video that's strippers. That's in the porn industry, men and women. And so when I'm talking about this stuff, they could feel attacked. They could feel whatever. I have to address the stuff in the spiritual. So this stuff hard for me to talk about because I'm talking about real things and it's dealing with real people. And I know everybody got a heart. I've been talking to a really great guy. I have no complaints about him, but I'm still in love with my ex, baby daddy of 1 year old. What should I do? You should not be in a relationship. If you're still in love with your ex, it's either you don't understand love, you haven't processed what your ex did to you, and if you in love with somebody else but dealing with somebody new, you playing with a heart. Because the man you dealing with could fall for you. And then if your ex say he wants you back, and then you drop this man like a bad habit, you don't know what that's gonna do to that man. That man could end up taking your life because you don't know where he at mentally. That man could end up taking your baby daddy life. So that's why I say heal before you deal. Don't play with a heart. So if you still in love, wait till you fall out of love before you start dealing with somebody else. What is your advice on just making videos of your gift and passion? For example, fitness and doing nails while incorporating kingdom and motivating messages. I feel like I'm in my own way. You don't have to incorporate kingdom and motivational messaging. Just post doing the workouts. Post doing the workout, post doing the nails. And then after you build your audience, then you can sprinkle in your mindset. Then people will ask you about your mindset. Then you can sprinkle it in. But your gift will make room for you. So use your gift first, and then you can add on to it. Like we let Jay-Z make music. He made music about selling drugs, and that made him a world-renowned artist. Now we listen to him on business. Now we listen to him on family. Now we listen to him on branding. But we know him as a rapper who rap about selling cocaine. And so that gift of being able to write bars made room for him. Now he a wise sage, a guru. And so use your gift to make the room for you. Then people will listen to you in other areas. Hey, Tony, what are your thoughts on walking away from a job where your boss has asked you to change your personality so that others in the group don't feel uncomfortable around you? Well, you first need to think about, is it your personality or is it immaturity? So you have to ask yourself, where am I operating from? Because if you operating from a place of insecurity, and that's making you loud, or if it's making you boisterous, or if it's making you something else, then you need to address that. I've noticed that a lot of times we think it's an attack on us when really somebody may be asking us to mature. They may be asking us to grow up. And so I've seen that happen in my personal life with myself and with me trying to help others. And I felt attacked because I'm quiet, I'm an introvert. But really, it's like me shaking hands and saying, "Hi, how are you? I'm Tony Gaskins." Me speaking to people when I walk up, that is maturity. It's not changing my personality, because my personality is not really my personality. It's my thoughts of insecurity and inadequacy. So you first got to hear the critique and then see if it's justified. And you got to be real with yourself. And now if it's not justified, and you talk to a few different people who love you and gonna keep it real with you, or somebody that's gonna be unbiased from my mentor.life, you get on there and go hire you a coach, and that coach will tell you and just give you a real feedback from the outside looking in. And that's where you need to hear it from, so you could kind of talk through it. You could kind of talk through it, and then, that's a thing. Yep, Jasmine. So see, that ain't a personality. That's an area you need to grow in. Cause you an introvert, and then you blunt. And so you can't be quiet and mean. And that's how I am. I'm an introvert and then blunt. Blunt really mean rude. Blunt really mean distasteful. Blunt really mean not being tactful. So see, we got to address that. And we got to learn to grow. And the reason why I talk like this is because we so used to being coddled, and we so used to being enabled, because we'll go to our friends and family and they'll say, "No, ain't nothing wrong with you. Tell that man to kiss your behind. That's who you is. Yeah, leave that job." But no, sometimes we got to look at ourselves. We got to look within. Yeah, I got about 8 more minutes. Amber, God bless you. I saw Amber pop up there. VD, welcome to the Blessed Tribe. I'm starting to get upset and angry about black men saying black women are too masculine and difficult and are running to other races. How can I stop feeling hurt and disappointed? Well, you got to look at the source. See, I'm a black man, and I'm not saying that. You listening to black boys. You listening to black grown boys. You're not listening to black men. You listening to broken mouthpieces. You listening to trauma talkers. You're not listening to men. You got to listen to men who are doing the work to be whole and to be healed. And then listen to what men say. And when you hear and you recognize that this outlet is a grown boy, stop watching that podcast. Stop watching that YouTube. Stop talking to those people at work. Run from those people. Take off. Because they work for the adversary. They work for the adversary. And the thing is, they really don't even have experience with it. They really don't have experience with it. Because to me, as a man, black women is very forgiving. When you think about what black women put up with, like, what you got to realize is it's a lot of black men that still got a job today because a black woman saving them. Thanks for the gems. Your talk changed my life. God bless you. Hey, God bless you. It's a lot of black men that still got a job and that have not been canceled because a black woman saving them. Because a black woman don't want to tell about when he touched her when she was 15. When he touched her when she was 4. When he beat on her. When he did that. It's a lot of black women that's protecting us. That's not a loud, unruly woman. And when a woman is loud and unruly, if you look within, you'll see the reason why. And you'll see that if you had to deal with what she had to deal with, you probably would have took your life. And so that's what these grown boys don't do. They want a woman that's gonna coddle them. They want a woman that's gonna replace their mama breast in their mouth. So they done been forced to take their mama breast out their mouth, and now they want a woman to put a breast in their mouth. And when that woman won't coddle them and let them do what they want to do and run over her, and she knows her worth, she loud and unruly and disrespectful. And then they run to another race and they praise that other race, but what they don't realize is that other race may allow him to cheat on her, talk to her like whatever, do whatever he want to do, but then she going and hopping on her another dangling of her ex-boyfriend. Whereas a lot of black women will sit and live in pain and be faithful to a no good man and be in pain. And so that's what you have to realize and understand is you got to look at the source who talking. And if you once you realize the source is a boy, because a lot of men that saying this stuff ain't 25 yet. And some of them who saying it ain't never had a real relationship. A lot of them ain't never been married, ain't never had a real relationship, and really don't know what they talking about. They taking the stereotypes that have been placed in movies and in the media, and they believe in it for themselves. And they spreading that without even knowing what they talking about, and really ain't never even really experienced that. You see what I'm saying? So we gotta understand that. Got about 4 more minutes. I'm looking for put hashtag Q before your question so I can see it. And if you ask a question and I answer it, let me answer the other ones before you post another question. Hi, Tony. What exactly does it mean when someone says you're so outspoken? Is that another way of saying you're blunt and or rude, or does it mean you use your voice? Well, it says it could mean both. It could mean both. It just depends on what you know. And we know ourselves. So you know if you rude and you know if you outspoken. So to be outspoken meaning you speaking from a place of love, you speaking from a place of peace, a place of joy, a place of happiness, but you sharing what's on your mind. Now, when you talking and you speaking from a place of bitterness, you speaking from a place of frustration or being jaded or pain, now that's when it means you rude and all the rest. Just broke up. He broke up with me before I did. Same day we were dating for marriage. I know you said a man doesn't leave a woman he thinks it's his wife. So I'm thinking no hoping for getting back together. Right. A man don't leave if he thinks you're his wife. But if you're dealing with a manipulative man, then he could leave you just to train you, to teach you shut up and deal what I'm giving you, or I'ma leave. Some men will do that. So you got to understand sometimes that's a tactic to make you desperate. Terrell Tolson. And what women got to stop doing is stop waiting on a man. Stop waiting on a man. If a man don't want to be in your life, go on about your business. Go on about your business. I hear so many women. I done coach women that done paid for a coaching session to talk about a man from 3 years ago. That is unfathomable to me. It's what? I'm like, hold on now. You done spent money to talk about a man from 3 years ago? Like, what in the world? Like, ma'am, if you don't find a hobby, if you don't find something to do, and get off the here phone, I can't believe I didn't give you a refund. Did you really call me to talk about somebody from 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago? Like, what in the world is you doing? Write a book, start a company, lose some weight, gain some weight, learn how to cook a different nationality food. Like, do something. Get out here and do something now. Go get another degree. Do something. Move on with your life. Because when that man leave you, that man move on. That man ain't sitting there thinking about you. That man ain't worrying about nothing you got going on. Stop associating a man leaving you with your self-worth. He could have left you because you're too good for him. He could have left you because you won't put up with everything. He could have left you because he know he's not on your level. Don't think that because a man leave you all the time that means you not worthy. Sometimes people don't want something that's better than them. Hey, I said I was gonna be on here 60 minutes because I just been coaching for 60 minutes, and so I got to keep my word on here. And I've been on here too long. Now what y'all got to do is set your notifications. And then if you're in the Blessed Tribe, I post on the community page when I'm gonna go live. And if you miss this, just scroll all the way back to the beginning and get this message in you, because you need this message in you. And the course of the week, I got a course of the week on TonyGassacademy.com. It's called Income Streams. Because right now, we broke and we're struggling. And so I did a little course called Income Streams, or Streams of Income, I think it's called. And it was a live, but it's the replay. Make sure you go get that. Make sure you get that, because what I'm seeing in the financial world right now, we need all we could get. So it's on TonyGassacademy.com. Get that in your life. Hey, God bless you, and we'll talk soon. And hey, and thank you to the moderators. Thank you to the moderators for helping moderate the chat. And God bless you, and thank you to the new members who joined the Blessed Tribe. Y'all will see up under the video where it say join. So for you to be able to chat and get the notifications and get the video that's only post for Blessed Tribe or Blessed Business Tribe members, you'll have to click that join button. But God bless y'all, and we'll talk soon.